Hi guys, Pronago bringing you another custom campaign playthrough. This one is StarCraft Aftermath by Christopher Ang. And Christopher Ang himself has requested this campaign playthrough, so I'm going to do the best to be more on the analytical side as opposed to the usual mongoloid, kiss-lovin', entertaining side, I guess you could call it for some people. By the same token, I would appreciate if any of the audience members has any feedback that they would like to offer Chris. Please leave it in the comment section or find some way to message him directly. He's on my Discord server. You can talk to him there. And let's get right into it. Episode 1, The Cure. Veteran level single-player campaign, so nothing in the way of like a description here. We'll just hop right in, see what the campaign has in store. Months after Kerrigan's victory over the combined UED, Dominion, and Protoss forces, a strange but empowering change begins to disrupt Kerrigan's control over the Zerg on Char. A strange but empowering change. Seems like it would be disempowering for Kerrigan. Encased within a cocoon-like shell, Kerrigan begins to feel distant Zerg broods, seeing and hearing through their members, controlling them in number as if the swarms were her own very own body. With this newfound ability, Kerrigan's struggle, having only crumbs of her former humanity, has began to reach depths that instills within her a terrifying sense of defeat in a long and constant struggle for sanity. Queen's Nest, Nidus Channel, subsurface of Char. These memories. Like smudging the colors of a portrait every time I revisit them. The colors smear and mix, the boundaries, once with form and meaning, are fading. And I fear. If I persist, all these, the bits of evidence I still possess of who I am, when pressed too hard and deep as they are, will turn black. Press start to continue. Okay, so first off, definitely don't agree with the red wall of text or any color wall of text. I feel like actually the briefing would be a lot stronger if you just started out with the text that's supposedly Kerrigan's thoughts or somebody's thoughts if it isn't Kerrigan's. So if you just opened up with Queen's Nest, Nidus Channel, whatever it said, subsurface of Char, that would be more compelling as an opener. It just gives you the location. I guess you could say like X amount of time from the end of Brood War, like X amount of time after the Brood Wars. That would be enough of a setting for the campaign, and then you'd immediately go into those thoughts that Kerrigan has, try to maybe tone them down a little bit, make them a little bit less melodramatic, condense them into a couple of probably less overall separate text actions, make it so that it's more like a couple of paragraphs or something like that, because it's harder to follow along between the individual ones, and especially with all of the ellipses, it makes it feel probably more melodramatic than you intended. And so as a result, I feel like that would be the first step that I would take here is to try to condense it. And I guess I should mention, I have no idea if you plan to return to this campaign and update it, but these sort of ideas for what I would do to tweak and improve the campaign, or what I would say to rewrite entirely, depending on what the current instance it will be. Hopefully that you can reverse engineer the ideas and where I'm coming from, my perspectives, and that will help you when you're working on future content, as opposed to editing old content. And you just won't put yourself in positions where you would have to make those decisions and make those tweaks and make those updates because you're sort of adapting. That's hopefully that's something that I can do. Also, I don't know why there's a change from the classic end of briefing to press start to continue. There's been a couple of people who have messed around with custom end of briefing messages, and I think it's fine as long as it's consistent, but press start to continue feels a bit more meta-gamey, or it feels more gamey, I guess. It doesn't feel as immersive as end of briefing, and so when you're going to change something that's been an established trend by Blizzard or by other people, I would make sure that it justifies itself, as opposed to, you're being different not just for the sake of being different, but because this actually adds something to your project. And so as long as you're going forward with that mentality, we can keep it with that. Umoja military base 2 weeks later. The scent of this place is repulsive. But I must have it. It should be here somewhere. I can feel it. Scour the area for the psi-emitter. Let nothing stand in the way. Okay. So this is a very interesting potential base setup here. I guess we'll set up right here. We have a lot of money. And I mean a lot of it. Can we... We don't have Overlord Transport just yet. Which is kind of weird since we were just demonstrated that we did have it by that cutscene. So do we have Kerrigan? It doesn't look like it. I like that you were playing the pronoun game, it seemed like, and then afterwards it was not the pronoun game. It like justified itself after that, where it actually says in the objectives like find the psi-emitter. I feel like that's you've already got some intrigue going, so that's positive. As far as where we're meant to be going, I have no idea yet. I guess I'll scout around here. We have to scour the area for the psi-emitter. We're up against some Terrans, it looks like. I already forget what this mission is called. Maybe it's in the objectives. The Cure. Okay, yeah. So, there you go. I guess I can isolate a Hydra or something. It's harder to isolate Hydras. I think this is good. Okay. And I'm not sure what I should be expecting overall, but presumably it'll be something. Let's see. Roger that, approaching attack vector. They wouldn't send their precious wraiths unless they're desperate. Okay, so we gotta watch out. Propel the Umojan Wraith Squadron. Destroy the starports to stop Wraith strikes. Locate the psi-emitter. Okay, well we are getting absolutely destroyed. They're already 1-1. Definitely don't agree with that. That seems pretty lame. Especially since I had no way of knowing that this was going to happen. This is something that actively punishes the player for scouting. And when we have no gas, we're naturally going to be a little worried about what's to come. So I definitely feel like that could be changed. So now we lost a lot of our shit. Well, that's just embarrassing. That definitely shouldn't be happening. Okay, let's grab a spawning pool. We're gonna need it. And sure, we get some more overlords. Definitely seems like air units are gonna be important in this mission. So I am gonna try to get gas so that I can finance a large number of mutas, especially since we currently have the ability to, you know, until we run out of mineral fields or whatever. Oh, shit. They're really after me. Okay. 1 HP, by the way. Also, the fact that they're colored neutral is a little confusing at first, but I think I can adapt fine. I also feel like this is another mission that definitely... It feels like there's a distinct lack of early game. You know, we started with a whole bunch of resources, but no base. The AI starts out with a huge amount of the map already taken. And so in future projects, I would definitely recommend that you... spend a little bit more time cultivating an early game. Change our rallies a little bit here. So I am going to go for a fast lair, and then we're going to try to take this base as soon as possible. I did kill off some gas miners, so hopefully that leaves more gas for me. I don't know if they've repopped it since... Actually, it does not look like it, so it looks like we've secured ourselves more gas in the long run. I wasn't entirely punished completely from... Jesus Christ. Oh, man. It feels like they're a lot stronger than they should be, but it's just that mutas are really not very powerful when not upgraded. Well, I guess this is partially my own fault for not getting upgrades, but this is a lot of fucking wraiths to be throwing at the player in the first minute. I don't know. I could have gotten spores to combat this, I guess. I don't know, man. This feels pretty bad. Pretty bad to be dealing with. Like, if you don't know this is coming, you have no way to answer it, so... This is gonna set me back a lot. Bonus resources received. Why? This feels even worse now. I'm getting fucking babied into playing this. Yeah, this is not good. How the fuck did they kill that? Holy shit, what are these? Fucking Goku wraiths? Fuck off. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this feels like, I mean, they're obviously being spawned in. I don't know, man. This does not feel like I'm playing StarCraft. It feels like I'm playing some really strange, very bizarre knockoff. Like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Holy moly. Alright, well. If nothing else, I hope I've convinced you to change your ways. Although it does look like we can get everything at, what the fuck am I looking at? Stop it. What is going on? Amazing. I wanted to... Oh, I guess that must be what's bugging it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I almost have ventral sacks, so... Very rough start to the campaign so far. It feels very gimmicky. Does not feel like it's at all related to like what you would expect out of traditional StarCraft. So yeah. Wait, why did I get another one? Oh, I think I thought I canceled my Spire when I actually canceled a crew colony that was supposed to be over here. And the bonus resources that came out of nowhere. That's a real head scratcher. Okay. I was not able to set up my hatchery there, so I guess we'll do that now. Oh yeah, I wanted to get a queen's nest as well. What the fuck? I have a lot of drones in strange places. Should be the title of this. Drones in strange places. Or can I just... No, I can't. I'm gonna set up a sunken over there. I need one more Hydra. Well, I guess I need two more. Okay. Okay. Well, we have more Oh, you know what? I could use this other Hydra for my second control group of mutas. I don't know what you're doing, buddy, but come on down and get some money. Oh, there's... They really are not liking this Spore here. Zerg here. Okay. So we should be good there. Let's come down here and start doing stuff. I don't know where their starports are. Okay, now I do. Hello? Alright, we do have an upgrade advantage, but not by much. Mostly we need, I don't know what evolution is complete now, that's Carapace. Mostly we need, just more mutas in general. Yeah. I knew that this was coming. There's a fucking absurd amount of, quite the number of, Marines over there. Alright, well. That sure is something. How the... Okay. I'm just not used to how mutas work when they're Hydra stacked like this. There's just a really ridiculous number of raids, I guess, is the best way I can put this. And they feel pretty bad-ass to play muta into. I don't know how there are so many of these fucking rates, man. The Marine number is pretty fucking absurd too, so why do they even bother? Why do I even bother, more like? Have it your way. I don't know what that means, but alright. Okay, so I'm gonna destroy all that I don't understand why my objectives have changed. What is different, exactly? I still need to get a foothold in the area here. Yeah, if it wasn't for all that free gas that I got earlier, this would be a no-show for sure. Get these fucking overlords out of my way, please. I'm gonna set up another couple spores here. Apparently we need antenna. It's here inside this lab. Well, why am I tasked with locating it if I'm just going to be given it? I don't understand. There's so much of this that feels very, like, unguided. Very schizophrenic in that respect. And, it's not a good look. Like, you want... If you're going to give me an objective, there better be a good reason for you saying, JK, I was, pranking you. I actually don't want you to do that. But here it just feels like sometimes it's a prank because of XD. I haven't been restocking my drones at all. It's kind of a problem. Since I've been spending so much of them on various structures for defense. So, I mean, so far, it definitely doesn't feel like there was a cohesive gameplay vision for this mission. It feels like, to me, it feels like everything is changing. Almost like you play-tested the map and felt like, oh, I'm not satisfied with how it plays out, so I'm just going to change it up without, like, refactoring the old stuff. I have no idea if this was all planned in advance. For all I know, it was. But yeah, I think combined with the fact that it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of premeditated behaviors with the AI. Like, it's obviously... Oh, I don't think I mentioned this. There's no mod to this. So you're already operating at a pretty big disadvantage where, as you can see, the AI is just stock AI. It's behaving fundamentally fucked like it is generally seen doing. And you're putting me up in a situation where I have to fight against Mass Marine with, I feel like, no tools to really properly answer. Like, I need to... I'm actually out of gas now, so I actually have to transition into, like, I guess Hydra or something. Maybe pure Ling. So I'll go and grab... I might have to cancel Tier 3 or just restart now that I know how to actually approach the mission. Anyways, the bottom line is, like, I'm up against stuff where it's, like, very much gimmicked out of certain strategies working. And it doesn't feel like the AI, like, adapted to what I was doing, or... Like, I don't really feel like I've been able to play the game yet. So I guess I'll scout out and see if there's any more weird surprises for me that only trigger when I'm, like, attacking a certain set of areas or whatever. Kill off these armories for the time being. See, that's it just feels so ridiculous, like the just the sheer number of units that respond to some of this stuff. And the fact that I mean, I'm gonna have to place, like, I guess there's only 3 overlords, but whatever. I'm probably gonna have to place, like, a hatchery somewhere on the low ground and then Nidus it. But, like, I've attacked this area and killed one building, and this is the AI's response. Now, you have control over this stuff, just mod. You know? I don't understand what the thought process was behind it. Like, I'm not even attacking this stuff yet, and they're sicking on me. Holy shit! So, yeah, this is obviously, this does not feel intended, but at the same time, I'm, like, look at this. Look at the sheer number of fucking units that have come to give me kisses. This is ridiculous. Like, this feels bugged. This feels bugged as fuck. I guess you just have to kill those starports or you're fucked. So, yeah, we'll restart here. Also, just generally, maybe don't show the units spawning in. Kind of bad form. Let's go ahead and skip. Get our stuff to start. Alright, we know that these mutas are a false presentation here. You know, where focus is going to be on Lurker, Hydra, most likely. With a healthy amount of Overlords, maybe Queen and Snare or something like that. But, yeah. I mean, now I have an idea. Like, of course, my next run, this run is going to be way more... presumably, anyways, it'll be way more solvent. But at the same time, it's like... Oh, I guess we started with Broodling. I didn't even notice that. I'm gonna see if I can parasite a transport or something. I also don't understand why we have so much of the map, like, revealed to us at the beginning of the game. I would much rather have to actually, like, search for some of this stuff. We even have the lab that is apparently our ultimate destination revealed to us at the beginning. So since our initial destination is obviously these starports, I guess we'll just get started in that direction. Go ahead and place an evolution chamber. And a spawning pool nice and early. All the way. And it seems like it's also a reactionary map, where somebody who turtles and doesn't play to scout, doesn't early game harass or anything. Well, holy shit, that's pretty psychotic. Okay, well, I guess not. I've actually activated the rates earlier this time, which is unfortunate because I lost a unit. But you know, nonetheless. I don't know when I'm going to get my bonus resources. I don't know if that's like a time-gated thing, or is that dependent on how much money I've already spent. Like, I have no idea what that's about either. There's like a lot of inconsistent bits. You know, shit where you would expect stuff to be... Like, you just wouldn't expect random free money, right? It sends the signal that, you know, if you're not going to play by the rules of StarCraft, it definitely sends a different kind of signal, I think, than what people aren't necessarily expecting. Also, this nuke squad, I have no idea what's happening here. That like happens once and never again. I actually completely forgot that even happened. It's another bizarre oddity. I should have tried to parasite that dropship. I'll be at the ready next time. Okay. So next up is a lair and a Hydra den. I think we've saturated ourselves well enough, and we only have enough room for another 2 drones after my Hydra den anyways. Apparently the Wraiths did not come this time, so another sense of inconsistency. I don't know what's up with that. But, not my favorite. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. I feel very handicapped. Like, I don't feel like I can actually move out and do anything. For one, I mean, I have so much stuff, so much of the map already revealed to me that it feels almost pointless to even bother scouting in some senses, right? But I know that that's not true because obviously I don't know what the AI is planning all the times. I don't know when they're attacking. So scouting should be important. But the last couple times I've done it, it's been punished, so... great. Good job. Okay. Lurker aspect, sure. Have some other such things soon as well. Yeah, I don't know. I have no conception of like how this is supposed to go. There's the Wraith attack. Is the bonus money only given to us if we lose a certain number of structures or something? Like I got nothing. I got no clue. We do kind of need it, so. We're gonna need grooved spines next. Judging by the amount... Oh, okay, well, it looks like it is just based on a time thing. Okay, how many are you gonna send, dude? Come on. This is getting a little kooky. This is just... This is ridiculous. Stop it. Go home. I don't know, man. I don't know why, like, this is pretty basic shit, you know? Like, oh, this is not StarCraft. Maybe I shouldn't have this in my campaign. Like, I don't really know what else to say here. There's not... It's so obvious to me, upon playing, that I can't possibly understand a mindset that doesn't see this as obvious. So... it might be hard for me to look past this particular situation and see what else is What else is something that I can talk about? This is great. There you go. You did it. Congratulations. We almost have ventral sacs. We're gonna unload down here. Oh no. A deadly attack is incoming. This is what I mean, like, it feels almost like instead of writing new AI, the decision was made to ignore the AI stuff and instead go only for the, like, hey, screw AI, I'm just gonna spawn a bunch of stuff in. Really? What the fuck am I looking at? What? Like, what is this? Why is there a fucking hunter-killer squadron of, like, 1 billion vultures for no reason? Besides, LOL. This is obviously not a defense squadron now. I'm almost certain. This is psychotic. Everything that is done through triggers here really should have just been done through basic AI scripting. Maybe this isn't done through triggers, but I've never seen an AI behave this way, so... Seems a little fucking sketchy to me. Okay. Let's grab a queen's nest. Alright. We definitely need a hive. We're gonna need a... We're gonna need a lot of shit. I mean, this doesn't seem like it's so hard to get into, but good luck actually placing any structures or anything, so... I think we're going to start with this bottom right side. We're going to sweep this whole area, expand down here, get some income, most notably some gas. Although the bonus gas that we got is going to go fairly well, I think. I'm just going to go for the hive. Another queen. Why not? Okay. Amazing. Out of the way. Where's the dropship at? I wanted to parasite some more of them. Wowie. Okay. Alright, let's take these, move them over here. If we possibly can. Yay, you guys did it. Congratulations. Very successful. What the fuck? Alright. Let's get a Nidus going. I mean, the solution to this is not really all that complicated. I don't know if I made it sound like it was more complicated than it was. The problem is that it's very one-dimensional, and only really one strategy is rewarded here. You know, maybe a different composition could work, obviously, but, like, for me, it feels pretty obvious that you're encouraged to do what I'm doing and knight us. Or I guess you could just, like, death drop or whatever since you have the whole tech tree available, but still feels pretty lame. Okay, we're getting kind of now. I don't know where else. No, I think we're just stuck doing that. AI also does not seem to mind, so we're really not on that much of a time crunch in terms of like what we can and can't do here. Here comes the next big objective change. Okay, I guess it does work like that. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to unload this guy. That's pretty cool. Keeping watch for mines. Although I think A-moving Hydras is pretty easily like one of the top 69 ways to destroy mines, but I guess cloak rates are kind of a problem. Maybe ghosts would be annoying after a while as well. Yeah, look at this number of Marines that we're fighting back, and then remember it's here inside this lab. Then remember we had to try to deal with that with air units. Like, alright, buddy. Thanks. While we're A-moving from one side of the area to another. Yeah, all of the pre-placed junk here feels like... I understand you're trying to make it feel like a city. Like, the terrain's okay. Could use more detail. Obviously, custom assets go a long way in this case. But, even that notwithstanding, feels pretty much like, you know, the AI just starts out with a whole bunch of shit, and we get nothing, you know? And so it's really hard for me to respect my opponents in this case. Oh man, that's going to be so obnoxious to mine from. I guess it's not really meant to be mined from the right side, but I don't even know what I was in the middle of saying. But I feel like it's really hard for me to respect the emojis when, you know, I don't really get an opportunity to see what they would do if they had the similar tools to what I have, you know? Alright, I have 3/3 Hydras now. Say bye. Make some ends. Oh, okay. What the fuck? Yeah, alright, buddy. I was not expecting that one. But whatever. Whatever you're gonna say. Yeah, this is also really gimmicky. Like, I understand maybe you want to reward players for doing stuff like this, but even so. Then I have no idea what the fuck this is. Like, what is going on here? Are you rewarding players, or are you punishing them by spawning a billion units? I mean, it's obvious. This feels like it's spawned in. I don't know. Yeah, I was, I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. I also think that not modding really hurts you here because, you know, you can do pretty obvious stuff like making infested command centers, resource depots. It's like a flag and an EXE edit, pretty easy. In that respect. Alright. A head cluster? Really? Okay. Guys, we actually have an extractor coming. It's very exciting. Yeah, I don't know. The level design for this mission feels pretty off. Kill the Rhino Dad. I guess we can come down. Well, no, I really want to clear this whole area. That guy really gave up this ground pretty fucking quickly, huh? This is like an 8-worker trainer or something to get full maturation or whatever, full saturation. There you go. That's a word. I guess I should be going for like Darkstorm or something in this context, but I don't know. I think it's fine. What a silly number of units. I don't even know. Are we, I don't think we're fully saturated on here. Well, I guess we are. We're probably a little bit over by 1, actually. Come on, just kill these things to stop them from spawning units, please. Some dialogue event to affirm that we've done our job in this respect would be nice as well. Okay. Let's refocus here for a sec. Still a kind of a foolish number of defenses, but AI is not even upgrading, so they're clearly broken in some capacity. Or, is there even a script that behaves this way with like no max force value, but attacks with nothing, and then also like has guard all or something? I don't even know. They might not have guard all. Might be fake news. Like that. Send through these guys. I guess we could finally reset with our Hydra count or whatever. Oh yeah, the critters are kind of annoying to try to keep track of, given the circumstances with them having the same player color. But not the end of the world, I guess. Just not something you would really want to. Not something you would really want to have in the best case scenario. Some more Hydras. Oh yeah, I forgot. Those things exist. Yeah, I don't know if they have guard all, actually. I'm not 100% convinced. No, they definitely do. Now I am convinced. They have like a couple of fucking missile turrets out here that they're aggressively defending with all that they can muster. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong again. We've wiped out most of their factories, so I don't know where the rest... Oh, never mind. They have all this junk down here. I guess what we really need is a lot of queens, then. So we can just broodling the tanks as they show up. Are they still summoning fucking wraiths from millions of starports or something? Oh, okay. Alright, wipe this shit out. Oh, fuck! I kinda like that cleaner. Pieces of shit. Is this depleted or something? Why the fuck are we having no gas? Clearly need to upgrade to that area. While we downgrade to having no hydras again. Pretty epic if you ask me. That broodling occupying the Goliath. Pretty useful, actually. And it's crazy how even with 0 upgrades, they still feel pretty fucking absurdly powerful with these tanks and stuff. And there's so many of those. Yeah, we definitely need more queens. But what can you do? Can't make ends forever. Can't make ends meet. I mean, I feel like I'm entirely... It's all up to me to like make the first move here. First couple of moves. In terms of like who's being proactive on the map, it definitely doesn't feel like the AI. It feels like the AI is basically doing nothing. Like setting up old guards and stuff. That's about it. I shudder to think of how many tanks they've rebuilt and put over in these places. I guess there's nothing really. Wipe out these depots so that they have less regions considered whatever they consider these. I don't even know if they're considered towns. They're clearly trying to defend them, so it's kind of annoying. I feel like we've killed their armories and stuff. I mean, obviously they must have rebuilt them, but come on, this is retarded. This is just like, this is silly now. I mean, it's been silly, but what the fuck? Why do they have like they have tanks at every fucking turn? They have I don't know, man. At what point am I supposed to start playing the game? Like, it's not hard at this point, it's just dull. Very, very much like a chore. Alright. Whatever, we'll have more gas now. I don't even know what the fuck they're doing now. They're like defending a region that isn't even theirs anymore. So that's pretty cool. Okay. Alright, now we should have all the gas income we need to actually make shit happen. Okay. I feel like we should be able to just roll through here now, but I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Apparently not. Please. Why is there a dancing medic over here, by the way? Can you fuck off, please? Without leading me into a tank trap? That'd be the most ideal. Okay, I guess not.
Our forces are under attack.
Okay. I like how it regains all of its health. That's pretty cool. Infested command centers and magic, of course. Seriously? It still doesn't fucking blow up. What is killing me? Oh, there's like more tanks. Oh, okay. Well, I just lost literally everything that I own, so it's pretty epic. Well, at least I have the income to back it up now. So that's something. Ay. Pretty psychotic stuff. We've killed off some of their tanks, but they're just going to replace a lot of them. I guess we really do need queens, huh? I thought I hydrated it over there, but apparently I did not. Okay. Well, yeah, we can basically instantly remax to what we had before, so I'm not really super worried about this. It's just more annoying than anything. Like I've said a few times now. But, yeah. I guess we can go for it, see what happens. Yeah, I don't think they should be able to hold off at this point. They just have so much production all over the map. The fact that there's just no way for anybody to express their ability to outplay an AI like this is like... I mean, it goes without saying, right? You have to... What you have to do here beggars belief in the most insane ways. Is there anything else we're missing? We also have to clear the entire area. I don't know what the area means in this case, but I'm sure it's not like a, you know, a 2x2 location, so let's just focus on Hydras as usual. And yeah, I mean, winning with Connor's favorite unit is like cool and all of that. I don't know, like the AI is not really even using half of its units. Like all these tanks that are up here for some reason. I mean, I'm not microing, but still. Wowie. How many times do I have to... Holy shit. This is psychotic. Just the sheer number of fucking units, man. I didn't even mean to order these units around, but whatever. Okay, there you go. You've gotten one tank out of the fucking 10 that are still pre-placed on the map somewhere. I feel like the impact of pre-placing so many units with an AI that obviously doesn't give a shit about like the max units that it owns. can't be understated, man. Can't be hey-manned. Hey, we can actually use these units. It's pretty cool. Pretty exciting. Oh, never mind. A single wraith. How many of them? How many? Is it even... How is it even possible for this many tanks to exist on a single map? Bye. Wowie. Okay. Come on back up here, kill this. Alright, that's it. They have nothing else on the map in terms of production structures. It's not here? Turning the entire sector apart is what it takes, then it's what this sector is going to get. Report. Zerg attack force degenerated at approximately 30 minutes from the initial wave. Degenerated? What does that even mean? Rainer slowly degenerates? Casualties. Minimal. Are you sure about that one? Damage estimates? 20 mil. Xeno reorganization frequency. 0.15%. Is this supposed to be grading me or something? Because I feel like it's completely off. Run a thorough analysis of all recent Zerg activities throughout the sector. Helmsman, signal the rest of the fleet to meet us at a rendezvous with these coordinates. I don't know why we're suddenly being patched into Minsk. And then all units got removed. A sizable Zerg force descends over an unsuspecting Protectorate base, destroying a key research facility. Although losses were minimal, Protectorate scientists and research teams were deployed throughout the sector to further ascertain threat levels of the recently growing frequency of sporadic Zerg attacks. Yeah, don't do this. Why is there a paragraph or 2 paragraphs of text that I have to read as payoff, as a reward for finishing this? I don't know, man. Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you're not writing a book. You're making a campaign. So, text is completely gone. Arcturus Meg's launches Operation Overwatch, an extensive and secretive Xeno project aimed at formulating a comprehensive and intuitive knowledge base of all known and unknown entities, gathering data from the most reclusive corner of the Terran sector to as far as the Dominion can reach. Yeah, again, who cares? This is like skip territory, man. Like Flame Knives territory. Not actual Flame Knives, but you get the idea. Like, sitting here waiting for the story so that I can continue playing the game. Although, obviously, I'm not actually going to be playing the game anymore. This is like the ending of the mission. But, meanwhile, Kerrigan recedes into a catatonic state as the hive clusters of Char beats with increased fervor, extracting and synthesizing essential nutrients and energy, all flowing to a central chamber beneath the surface of the planet. It's just such a really, very poor way to tell a story in a game. I mean, poor way to tell a story even if you're writing a book. Like, if you put this exact paragraph into a book, it wouldn't get published. Put it that way. Like, I don't understand why that recap was necessary to begin with. It doesn't really justify itself. So, I mean, it's been over an hour. Map itself, in terms of the gameplay that it offered, was really subpar because of the fact that we have an AI that has the entire map, literally the entire map, as its control. You're spawning units in instead of making AI, so the AI is even further divested from the source of the game's mechanics. and it's playing by completely different rules as opposed to just altered rules, like having, cheating with AI, cheating with resources, which is like really the only excuse that you have now in the modern era. But even when you made this campaign, you could have made it so that there was custom AI, you could have modded, could have made it, there's so many things that you could have done to make it so that the AI was more on the level of the player, was expanding outwards, was actually attacking. As it stands, the AI attacks with spawned units, it doesn't really attack with them, it's just ordered to attack. And those units, those wraith attacks are the only actual threats. The AI attacks themselves are really worthless, like very throwaway. And so you get into this really bad situation where the player is tasked with engaging themselves entirely. Like, you want to make something that's engaging with the player, and instead that you're tasking the player with doing all of the work, doing all of the engagement, because they have to essentially find a way to penetrate this like really ridiculous wall of enemy units. So that's like a really big issue initially, is that the AI is like defending too well but not attacking at all. It's way more annoying for a player to have to, constantly throw 100 supply, whatever, however much supply I was throwing away constantly. Like, we just take a look at my units. I lost 250 units, so that's way less than I thought I did, but, I produced almost twice that. So you get into a situation pretty quickly here where you're basically stuck remaxing and A-moving into a base that, it's protected more than like a StarCraft 2 base where the AI doesn't even defend itself, sure. But it still feels the same sort of, like, it still gives you the same sort of feel where you're dealing with like a, what would you say, like in StarCraft 2, the big problem with AI is that they're just a bunch of pre-placed junk. Well, this is what this felt like. It didn't feel like the AI naturally took those spots. It felt like they had all of those spots. Now, you might want to make it so that the AI is a bit more well-fortified in the early stages of the game or something, compared to the player, which doesn't have any foothold at all. But there's so much downtime where we're waiting for hatcheries to build, right? So our natural inclination is to scout around. You can let the player scout around and find potential angles of attack and witness the AI expanding and setting up its defenses, its very considerable defenses, instead of attacking. Like, it realizes that the Zerg are here, it's going to take the safe approach and defend, because it's a defense-focused AI. Well, maybe you can do that instead of making it so that they just start out with all this stuff. So, I guess the intention is to present the Protectorate as a defensive AI that's not really geared towards attacking, because of the fact that there are barely any attacks, and what little there are in terms of threatening attacks are all spawned in, and so they feel incredibly artificial. But then you look at it from the perspective of having the, like, what is the player supposed to do in their free time while they're setting up their base? I think it's fine if you make the player set up their base, as long as you give the player something else to do in the meantime, so that they can, like, sync that up with, like, hey, I'm playing this scouting minigame while I wait for my base to build, so that I can play my base building minigame, all these different minigames that you separated StarCraft into. And, I'm going to use the data gathered from scouting to help me make early decisions after my base finishes setting up. Or you can just give us a base to begin with, and still make scouting important, but then make it so that it's not the only thing we have available to us in terms of what we can do. So definitely don't like the fact that I had to do all of the engagement, I had to do all of the work in that respect. The AI did not engage me whatsoever, and the few times that you could argue that it did, it was all through artificial means. So it wasn't the AI actually doing it, it was like triggers, it was the map maker saying, hey, there's not enough engagement here, so I'm going to pretend that there is, or I'm going to, like, shoehorn some of it in. And so that would be, like, my first major criticism, is the fact that there's really no engagement from the map itself, from the scenario, from the AI, from our enemy. And it's just really just like this really large 1v1 that's drawn out over an hour. Obviously some of it was a first run that I had to then retry. So yeah, that's my first thing that I'm not a fan of. Then you look at, from the perspective of the story. If you really want to talk about the story, I feel like I have no real idea what the grounding theme is after this first mission. I don't really know what's going to happen. I assume it's going to be centered around Kerrigan, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. I would say that a big problem so far is that I don't know why Kerrigan's in a catatonic state. I just know that she is, and I've been exposited this information, as well as what Mengsk's plans are. For some reason, he's in a Protectorate area. Like, I don't know why the NORAD 2 flagship flew over this area specifically. Like, it seems a little weird to fly the Emperor over this area. That seems really weird, really out there. And generally speaking, I feel like it doesn't really speak to any larger vision that Mengsk is now working with the Protectorate somehow. Like, how do they resolve their differences? It feels like it opens a lot more questions. I'm going to wait until I can do a retrospective after the whole campaign's through to judge whether or not this is proper. But the way that you're presenting this information is pretty poor, in my opinion, because of the fact that it's all text, exposition and stuff. So I think that most of the feedback that you requested was for gameplay, and it seems like you've moved on past the common sense stuff, like not putting in a bunch of text for people to read because you're not writing a book, you're making a game. But in case you wanted a reiteration on that, I definitely feel like the story could have been used a better presentation. I talked about what I would do with the briefing. I don't know what I would change here besides cutting all that end paragraph stuff out, finding a way to work it into the actual map, or make it part of the next mission's briefing if you think it's that important for the future. It doesn't really make any sense to, like, jump in and throw a bunch of stuff out there. Now, I do know that this campaign was originally made for the 2009 Campaign Creations Contest, just like Echoes and Vile Aggression, and so it's meant to, like, bridge the gap between the start of, or the end of Brood War and the start of StarCraft 2. So you're not really working with very promising material here, obviously. But even so, I feel like you could have handled it better in terms of the way that you presented what your take on the story was. And so I'll have a more concrete analysis of the story itself once I finish the entire campaign, but that's my thoughts so far. Gameplay definitely needs to use some work here. I don't even know if this mission is salvageable. I feel like, a lot of what you would have to change is, like, restructure the AI entirely, maybe add a second AI in here. I would like to increase the scale. I would like to make it so that there's an AI ally. I would like to make it so that there's maybe a free-for-all, or at the very least, more of a glorified 2v2 or 1v1 scenario, as opposed to it just being a very basic 1v1. I don't understand why we, at the first mission of the campaign, have access to the entire tech tree, but if you're going to go with that, then, make it so that there's at least the enemy is using more of the tech tree more regularly, and make it so that they're either attacking pretty, in full force, or they're defending in full force. Characterize them a little bit better. It doesn't have to be binary one or the other, but make it so that if they have some sort of tendency, make it done through the AI and organically, using the same sort of mechanics that a player would use, using the guard command with the AI script, using base layout, using all the stuff that we have now, these tools that make it really easy to do that stuff. So that'll be where I leave it at. If you guys have any feedback for Chris, please leave it in the comments or find a way to get that to him otherwise. And we'll be moving on to the next mission of Aftermath. I don't know when, but keep an eye out for those videos.